Hey Sean, I'll just do a really quick video, show you the aquaponics. These things are IBCs, they're a 1,000 litre tank. They're basically just, they come over here with baby formula in them and things like that. These ones are basically your baby food or something. So it's a 1,000 litre kind of tank thing. And then you just cut them in half. Make those things on top, those three things, so they're the grow beds. That's a worm farm under there. So this tank here that sits underneath these two and also connect to that one, you see the pipe under there that connects into that, that's a sump. So inside the sump, you can see water going in there. There's a pump over there, so the pump runs up a line and it goes to an IBC in the back there. So there's another 1,000 litre tank at the back there, which is all the water's coming out of at the moment. So basically the sump holds kind of the excess water and stops the water level in the fish tank at the back there from dropping, so it doesn't stress the fish out. So in here are yabbies. They're I probably can't see through the camera. They're probably about 7 or 8 centimetres. They're blue clawed yabbies, so they're really pretty looking ones, like fluorescent blue. And they're basically, they'll hide out in their little holes in there and whatnot. So you can see that under here all the water coming out into the sump. So basically each grow bed gets the water coming out of the sump up to the fish tank. So it's pumped through a black tube there, goes into the fish tank, and then it comes out into each bed. So each bed has its own kind of adjustable system of getting water into it. In each bed they're filled with volcanic gravel. So the gravel that we use is kind of really aerated, which lets a lot of bacteria grow on it, which is what you want. And down inside there, it's basically a like a flood system. So I just made valves that fill up. The water level comes up, and you'll see there's I can't even see it, it's so sunny here. There's a black pipe inside there. The water level gets up to the top of that pipe and then floods back into the sump. These beds are only 2 weeks old, so these are now coming on probably closer to 3 weeks, probably about 16 days growth. So you can see there are zucchini plants, spinach, leeks, broccolis, cabbage, lots of tomato plants along the back, rocket, broccolis, beetroots, lots of lettuce, lots of celery, spinaches. See all the tomato plants growing buds out already, growing there, doing their thing. Same deal, lots of different stuff, snow peas and whatever. And this is under 3 weeks, and they were tiny little seedlings, like tiny little thing. We've got curry plants and all sorts of stuff. So like you were saying in the email, it's right that the fish poo and wee and create ammonia. That ammonia is a waste product which gets pumped into these beds. The ammonia, when it hits the gravel, with the use of natural bacteria that just turn up on it, you cycle the tank for a couple of weeks before you plant or put fish in them, but basically it turns it into a nitrite. So the fish are creating ammonia and nitrites, which plants can't consume, and the bacteria that sits on the stones basically turns the nitrites into nitrates, and the nitrate obviously is used by the plants, nice and green and healthy and that kind of stuff. So the system is basically plant waste, fish waste turned into plant food, and most of it's done with bacteria that are just naturally around. And the more porous and the more holes you've got in the rocks, like these volcanic ones are quite light, the more this bacteria can thrive and do its thing. For a week, or probably the first week, everything went a bit yellow and kind of had scarring almost. Like if you look at the leaves on that, they're kind of a bit yellowish, kind of, they're not 100% green yet. And that's just the system getting used to, having the fish and all that kind of stuff. So basically within these tanks, I'll just get a ladder. So this is a fish tank, and under here, I don't know if you can see them. I can't actually see the camera lens because it's so sunny. I can't really see if the camera's picking up anything apart from lots of reflection. Let's see if I can, yeah, but anyway, in there, oh yeah, I can kind of see them there. They're all trying to run away and hide over here where I can't see them. So anyway, I'll just kind of zoom. I can't really see what I'm looking at the moment, but in there is about 68 silver perch, and there again they're only about 7 centimetres or something like that, little fingerlings, and in 2 years they'll grow to about 1 kilo each. So in a system like this, that's probably a little bit too much fish at the moment, but you lose a few, you know, you'll get death. Bloody kids leaving the hose on. Turn that off before I do anything. And yeah, so that's a basic system. So now this week I've got to move it and move it to the new house, which I probably won't like. And then I'm trying experiments. I've got like a different bed over here, different system, just kind of made out of wood and whatever. And I'm trying the pyramid. So you can kind of see the pyramid there. Again, there's a sump tank under there, and then the water is going into a tank out the back there. So that back tank's another 1,000 litre tank. So the water's getting pumped up the white tube through the middle, goes over the top, goes into the fish tank, which comes out to that tube there that's pumping now, and the one next to it is getting fed through the same tube that goes up there, and the water just basically swirls all the way down. These plants, I just made little pots for them. I couldn't buy anything that was right. So in there, water going past kind of thing, water flowing through. So one of the plants sticking out, you see all the roots are coming out the bottom. This is only about 2 weeks old, these ones. I just put the volcanic rock and I put wicks in. These here basically just hang out the bottom, and they're just off a mop. So they hold water, and when the plants are little like this, before they put their roots down, gives them a chance to kind of get, you know, into the water early. The few that I didn't do wicks for died. They didn't like it, but the system is at the same age as these ones, and you can see the difference. Like, it's just, this is more like hydroponics growing, you know, compared to aquaponics. The difference here is that back tank has no fish, the tank underneath has no yabbies, so you can, you know, the difference is just astounding. The plants in here are sparse, you know, that's, you know, they're doing pretty shitty without all that fish poo. There's a massive difference. I deliberately haven't put fish in this one because I wanted to see the difference and just see what, you know, those ones do compared to this one. And the big triangle weird thing, the Christmas tree. And but the Christmas tree seems to be doing really well with strawberries. Up the top I've got strawberries growing, and the strawberries love this thing, and they don't seem to like the beds. So basically, yeah, when I move I'm going to change this one around a bit, and mainly just make it the whole thing strawberries, because the kids chew through strawberries like you wouldn't believe. And you know, and redo it. And I've also got a plan for like a Ferris wheel one that I'm going to make, similar concept, tubing, bigger tubing, and it's going to be basically water powered, like a big water powered windmill, like the olden days kind of stuff, like you see in Holland or whatever, where you know, the water will basically will create a big paddle wheel which will turn, and the paddle wheel will have plants in it. But that's a bit confusing trying to explain it, whatever. But yeah, unbelievable. Like, for under 3 weeks we've been eating the food. Like, this lettuce here actually feeds, it was the biggest, but I rip it apart every day. The silver perch eat a lot of greenery, so they have some pellets, but they'll chew through like probably that much lettuce every day. Same with the yabbies. The yabbies have got, inside the yabby tank, there's what looks like traps, and you can kind of see they hold the lettuce and stuff like that. The yabbies are basically veggies. They don't, everyone catches them with meat in dams and stuff, but they're actually veggies. So I can see a few yabbies down here. It's so hard to see if the camera's going to do it. There's a yabby feeding down here. I'll see if I can get near him without dropping the camera. They'll probably dart off. See if I can lift him up. He's probably attached to this thing. Yep, he's gone. But yeah, it's good fun, learning lots, and once I move it and it re-establishes at the other joint, you know, it'll go just mental, because if that's what 3 weeks does, it's you know, it already feeds us. We do salads, rip apart all the rockets and stuff like that, and you know, tomatoes are only about a week away from, you know, being going red, but yeah, it's really interesting and good fun. And I think after about a year you can start eating the fish. They're big enough, they're plate size. So it's you know, 70 fish in there or whatever, and they'll be probably about 600 grams about this time next year. By this time Christmas next year they'll be well edible. So yeah, so the whole thing totally works by itself. And like I say, having the right kind of fish. I was going to get trout, but they more need meat and they want live food and whatever. But having the silver perch in the big tank over there means that you basically just rip off whatever and chuck it in the tank, and that's what they eat. Same with the yabbies, they're eating their own food that they're making out of the poo, and the same with the worm farm. You know, the worms are also going to be used to feed the fish when they get bigger. There's about 2,000 in that, and I'll put another stage on top of it and then separate them, and they'll start breeding. So the system will basically feed itself with no need to buy any food, and you end up with, you know, 70 fish. Whatever yabbies. I think I've got about 10 yabbies in there at the moment, because yabbies will kill each other if you put too many in on the one go. And yeah, lots of food, so it's interesting stuff, good fun, and pain in the ass to have to move though. So yeah, let's see how it goes. I've got a massive crane coming, like an 8-ton crane, so I'm not going to empty all the soil out and bucket it or anything. I've just got a massive crane coming in, and he'll just lift each part of it, lift one by one, dump them on the back of his truck and drag it over there and re-plop them on the ground. I'm not interested in doing any hard work. It's hard enough work just, you know, having to look at my yabbies and stuff. Anyway, yeah, that's a quick thing on the aquaponics. Good fun.